Hello there. Welcome to What the Dog Podcast, where I talk about dogs, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and can we fix it? My name is Katie. I am a certified reward-based trainer with CPD-TKA, and I'm here to give you short, sweet, and quick answers to your questions that you have about your dogs. If you hear some noise today, that's because I'm a pet parent who said, let me give my dog some enrichment while I do my podcast, and I picked the noisiest thing I could do, which is a food dispensing toy. If you're watching on camera, here is my dog playing with it. It's plastic and there's kibble in it, and so yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about why our dogs pull on the leash. And leash pulling is something that I work with majority of my clients. It may not be the main purpose while I'm working with them, but it is something that they have questions on and that they tend to want to work on with their dog is the leash pulling. Now, we don't like it. I get that. But why do dogs even pull on the leash? And some of us may have an answer in our mind. Generally speaking, what I like to have people envision is that if you were to let your dog off leash, what would that look like? Where would they go? How would they act? What do they do? You can picture them in a big open field if you want, on a nature trail, whatever it may be, in your yard. If you were to unclip their leash, what would they do? Well, your dogs would probably sprint. They'd run around. They would sniff a lot. And I want you to think if they would be doing that in a straight line or in kind of a crazy zigzag back and forth all over the place line. And if you chose the latter, you would be correct, unless we're talking fairly senior dogs who are geriatric and really don't walk that much. But majority of dogs, if you were to let them off leash, they would be going in no consistent direction, back and forth, nose to ground, sprinting, running, having a great time. That's what dogs do. So when we now say, hey, we're going to go outside and get some exercise, but I'm going to confine you to, let's say, 6 feet. If your leash is 6 foot, that's pretty standard, to 6 feet. You're also going to walk on the cement, not the grass, and we're going to go in a straight line. That's fairly boring to most dogs. So it makes sense as to why they would want to pull, because we are walking in a direction they don't want to go. We're going at a speed that they don't want to go. They want to go faster than us. They want to go side to side. So our idea of a walk is a 180-degree difference from what a dog would naturally want to do. So how do we fix this? How do we meet in the middle somehow? I will say a great middle ground is to use long leads and go to different parks and places where dogs can sniff and they have that space. However, I do recommend working on your leash skills before you go do that, because you don't want to have a 10, 20-foot leash with a dog who's just still pulling you around. That's not any fun. So when you work on leash walking skills, my first advice is to start inside your house and to even start with simply just putting your dog's gear on, because a lot of the times what happens is we say, oh, let's go on a WALK, and our dog's getting hyped up, they're excited, we're like, yep, we're going, and we're trying to put their gear on and they're jumping all around and it's getting us frustrated. They're getting excited, and we put the leash on, we walk out the door and they're pulling and they're crazy already, and you're like, why did I even sign up for this? Because this is exhausting already. If you start off being calm in your house, getting their gear on calm, when you walk out the door, they will still be excited usually, but less excited than they were if you were riling them up. So first, you need to work inside your house, keeping your dog calm throughout that process. Secondly, working on your leash walking skills in the house is a great call as well. There's less distractions. You can get the hang of which hand are you holding where, what you should be doing. you should, be working with a trainer or, go into some classes and tutorials, things that are online. I am planning on making a leash walking course online that's self-paced. Work inside, then go to your backyard, then go to your front yard, then go on your walk around your neighborhood. And I had someone post, they just got a puppy, and they were like, I don't know how long they were on their walk for, but she was like, we went just like around the block, or we didn't, she was implying that they didn't go very far because their dog was easily distracted. So the other part of a walk is your mindset on what you expect from the walk. If you are working on leash walking skills in the beginning, do not expect to go very far. Your dog will get a ton of mental stimulation from a training walk where you were working on your leash walking skills. And maybe you spend 30 minutes and you have just gone back and forth between 5 houses for 30 minutes. Fine. Your dog is going to get some exercise. You guys are going to work on your leash skills. But if you're like, I really don't care. I need my dog to walk 5 miles and we're just going to walk 5 miles in this time limit, you're going to get skills that you don't want with your dog. You're not going to take that time to train them. So in the beginning, know that you're not going to go very far, and that is okay because your dog is still getting stimulated. They're still burning energy. The other part of it too, I always recommend to people is that middle ground of letting your dog sniff while you're on a walk. So again, you may say, I have a dog and I need to walk him 5 miles because he's a hunting sporting breed and he has lots of energy. I can guarantee that if you slowed down a little bit and let them sniff every dang blade of grass in every yard, they would be just as tired. The other part of that I want you to realize too is that if you get your dog on a X amount of mile walk that they have to go on in order to burn enough energy to be tired, they're going to build stamina and you're going to have to continue to increase that distance over time. So keep that in mind when you think about I have to take my dog on a walk to burn their energy. There's a ton of other ways that you can burn your dog's energy. But the pulling, why they pull, is because they just want to go different directions. They want to move faster than us, right? So when you are working on your leash training skills, remember to take your time. Start inside, start in your own yard because it's not as cool as other people's yards. And what you'll notice is that probably when you start venturing into new areas, your dog acts like they're going to be pulling more, or maybe they do start to pull a little bit more. And that's because it's new and exciting. So over time, they're going to realize, oh yeah, it's new, exciting. I get to sniff, I get to smell. So there's no need for me to pull my mom over to this tree because she'll let me go smell it. And it just takes time and patience. Leash walks are not what a dog is equipped for and what their DNA and their brain says that they should do. It's just not. It's complete opposite. So that's why we struggle so much with it. So if you are in the process of training your dog to leash walk, I hear you and I feel you. And you can get there. Just please be patient with your dog. And if you're not already working with a professional or have signed up for a professional class, I recommend that you do so because that can definitely help in making sure you're doing the correct things with your dog. So I'm a reward-based trainer, so I teach your dog that they get rewarded when there's, the leash is loose. And that's how they learn to walk nicely on the leash. So they don't get to go forward if they are pulling. Right, bud? He's tired already. We've done a lot of training this morning. So keep that in mind. Why dogs pull is because we are not a dog and we're trying to get them to do something that is not doggy. And walking in a straight line on a sidewalk is not what dogs want to do. So have that in your mindset. And like I said, the other part is if you think that you have to walk X amount of miles, you're setting yourself up to fail, right? The other part I want to mention too is about dog walks, is that while we can get some exercise out of walking with our dogs as well, that is not the purpose of a dog walk. A dog walk should be for our dog. It should not be because of us. I'm not going to take my dog on a walk because I need exercise. I'm going to take my dog on a walk because he deserves to explore the world. And if I get exercise on top of that, great. However, if my dog wants to sit and sniff every blade of grass along the way and I'm really not walking as much and we only pass 10 houses in 30 minutes because he's sniffing everything, that's fine. But if I set myself out as the goal that I have to take my dog on a walk because I need exercise, then you're going to have a frustrated walk. You're going to be frustrated because your dog's not moving fast enough or they're not doing what you want because you need your heart rate to get up and you need X, whatever that may be. So it's really, walks is about all of our mindset and growing a little bit more patience with our dogs as they're learning, because this is not a dog thing. And I know I've repeated myself a lot, but I'm really bad at that, just to make sure I hone in and get the message across for you guys. Dog walks are not dog things. So anyway, I hope that answered that question of why dogs pull on the leash, because it is something that it can cause so much frustration with dog parents. So take your time, change your mindset around, and just realize that this is something that is extremely complicated for your dog to mentally handle, is trying to get to the level that you want them at. So try and meet them a little bit on the way. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me on another podcast episode of What the Dog. If you want me to talk about anything specific, please reach out to me. You can reach me here. I have a YouTube channel for Pete's Sake Dog Training. I have a website for Pete'sSakeDogTraining.com. This is all fur, like dog fur, F-U-R, not for Pete'sSakeDogTraining.com. I'm located in the Indianola, Iowa area and work with the surrounding areas, even in Des Moines, Altoona as well. Or you can email me for Pete's Sake Training for Pete's Sake 62 at gmail.com. I don't think training's in it, to be honest. But I do have a lot of options between online courses, virtual sessions that I can do privately. I just am doing some virtual group classes right now and trying to reach dog parents any way that I can. Make sure to check out my Facebook page because I do try and post a lot on there. Reels, photos, whatever it may be. I do have a TikTok. And I also have a Patreon page if you would like to do a membership. I focus on 10 minutes of training. So my sessions are usually around 10 minutes long. They may go a little longer because I sit and explain things a little bit more. But these are things that you can be working on with your dog every single day. And you only have to commit 5 to 10 minutes of training with your dog to get them to be listening to you more. They will be calmer because you had a training session with them. I'm trying to implement more everyday training skills in there, as well as some tricks and some enrichment. So lots of things going on the Patreon page for Pete's sake. All right, guys, thank you for that, and we will see you later.